Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Diablo 3. My name is Wilfred. So my wife and I just came back from a holiday in Thailand, Koh Samui. Now for those who do not know Koh Samui, it is an island. What used to be very quiet when we first visited Samui like 20 years ago. Back then it was just one straight road and we were renting our Jeep and it was a beach resort, a lot of sun and beach and all, but that's about it, a quiet little island. But 20 years has passed and my wife and I found it, the area is a lot more different. Now it's full of tourism, a lot of like a restaurant, hotels and more restaurants and and more kind of like places for tourists to visit, like bar, like spa. It was I couldn't recognize the place at all, seriously. But we had a good break, a lot of sun, a lot of like a beach and just a contemplation, reading books and so on. So we had a nice quiet holiday. And oh yes, of course, for those who celebrate Chinese New Year, wishing you all a happy, prosperous, wealthy, healthy New Year to you and your family. And for those who play computer games like myself, wishing you all a very good year of loot and happiness in computer gaming. Okay, now, so before we went over to Thailand for holiday, I was playing a game with Street Dupe, Greater Rift 85, and we went pretty well. I mean, our clan have done the Greater Rift 85, but you never know when you put like different group of people together. So I was with my friend Street Dupe, and I did pretty well as a witch doctor, and he was playing a barbarian. I was deathless. He I think he had one death, but that's about it. So we were quite happy. And after that, he locked out, and then I thought, yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot. Like, why not just give it a shot, right? May try out Greater Rift 85. And normally I would not do 85 unless I am well prepared, like having nice gear or having like the gear being augmented with legendary gems and so on. But I didn't have any of those. My gear is just like still progressing. A couple of ancient, but not anything augmented with the legendary gem. So I did Greater Rift 85, as you see here, deathless. I was very surprised at the awesomeness of Witch Doctor. Now, of course, there was only two possibilities. First of all, maybe I become really good playing Diablo 3 after many years of playing these seasons. Probably not. Mainly, I think it's because of the recent buff to the a lot of set items. They try to bring, all the various sets to a certain kind of level. And in doing so, some classes end up a lot better off than before. So I believe that the Witch Doctor, the Jade Harvester set is one of those that benefited from the recent buff to the set items. Now, if I look at the patch note, just a recent one before the season 16, I think some of the very strong builds like the Firebird of the Wizard, like the Necromancer, Tragol, or some of the Pestilent kind of like a set, they don't really buff that much. But some of the set I could like really feel like Barbarian, the Wrath of the Waste, like the Whirlwind kind of like a build. I really thought that, yeah, I mean, some of this buff can't make sense because it does make the build a little bit more awesome. For example, the Demon Hunter as well. I used to play the Shadow build, Shadow Mantle, I think that's what it's called, the Impel, and it's always a little bit lag behind compared to the Nataya and the Morada kind of set, the Sentry kind of like a build. But I kind of see that, wow, it's nice that buff something. And then when I look at the Witch Doctor, initially I check out the IC Vein saying that the Arachai kind of build is the top build. Well, I knew that they haven't updated the website because the first thing I did, right, in any season is to check out the leaderboard to see which are the greatest kind of like the greatest set that make it up to the top 100, right? And when I look at the Witch Doctor leaderboard, I saw like 99% of people are using Jade Harvester. I was like, wow, it must be something good about Jade Harvester because otherwise you wouldn't see like 99% of people in top 100 or 150 season leaderboard, Witch Doctor, are using the Jade Harvester. And so I kind of like, I started off with Arachai, but I didn't get all the loot I wanted. I say, well, forget it. I mean, I'm not really losing that much to try out the Jade Harvester. And that's what I did. I went over to try out the Jade Harvester. My goodness, I mean, it's one of the strongest thing that I ever done. And this video is really to talk a little bit about the Jade Harvester and what I think about why is it so strong and what are the options that you could actually do about it. Because when a build is so strong, when you don't really need to squeeze out every single ounce to, I mean, if you're not that ambitious to be at the top 100, there is a lot of possibility for you to play. And that's why I like to spend some time in this video talking about Jade Harvester, because I think Witch Doctor is, like, believe it or not, become one of my favorite classes out there. And the great thing about Jade Harvester, I mean, Jade Harvester set is quite easy to play. You spread your locust swamp, and you spam your haunt, and the haunt is kind of like, you look at the Jade Harvester set, it's a lot of buff to the haunt, and then you use a soul harvest on a mob that's being haunted, and you deal a massive amount of damage, good enough that sometimes you can one shot the elite. But of course, at higher rift you can't, unless your gear become much better, which mine is not that great yet. But I see a lot of potential in it. So now, do I follow IC Vein? Interestingly, this season, I'm not really following strictly to IC Vein, and I made some adjustment. I'd like to share with you what I've done, different from what IC Vein is doing. So the first thing first is that the recommendation is to use a furnace as the cube item for your weapon. Now, of course, that makes sense. That is 50% like increase to elite. So as you know, when you play this game, when it comes to the Greater Rift, usually it's the elite and the bosses that hold you back. So I can understand that the furnace is a very good choice, but I didn't do that. Instead, I used the wormwood because I kind of like the fact that the locust is being spawned automatically around me, and it will jump to another one because I'm using the okay. So what does the wormwood does, right? Is that it automatically does the locust swarm. So you can see a little kind of like a green ring around the character, and as and when I approach a character, the swarm will just fly around, it attack everything around me without me having to do anything with it. So that is kind of nice. And why do I like that? Well, I see a potential there because if you look at my resource bar, is very, it doesn't dip at all majority of the time. So it gives me an opportunity in the future, if so I wish to use the Aquila Cuirass because of the this season. It's a season of grandeur. So season of grandeur means that I don't need to use all 6 pieces of the set item to earn my 6-piece bonus. I could use 5 pieces instead. So instead of the chest item, I could use the set chest item. I could use the Aquila Cuirass, my favorite kind of like set gear, because that gives me 50% damage reduction, if so I wish to, right? So that's one option up there. And the good thing about using the wormwood, another option that opens up is that because I'm using the Veil Hive, I think the IC Vein is asking you to do the Henry perquisition. So Henry is a little cat on a mojo. That one is good because it charms the target when they first attack you, also reduce the damage to I think 67% reduction. So it's a good kind of like mitigation there. But I didn't use that. I used the Veil Hive instead because the Veil Hive would give me the pestilent rune for my locust. So now that opened up option, because if I do have locust on my hotbar like now, I could use a rune to reduce the damage output of the enemy around me by 25%, right? So in a group environment, it's kind of nice because the enemy don't hit that hard. And so that gives me an option there to have 2 runes running for the Lucas Swarm. Another option, of course, I've been toiling around with it, not sure whether I'll actually do that, is that instead of having Lucas on my hotbar, I could have the Big Bad Mojo, right? The Voodoo, sorry, Big Bad Voodoo. That one is a big buff around the around me and for the ally during the times that I need it. And because I have the passive to reduce cooldown, as and when enemy die within me, close to me, which is at melee range, which is where I always be, I could actually pop quite a fair bit of like the Voodoo as well. So that opened up a few options that I'd like to sort of like explore. I don't know whether it will work out or not, but I think in a group environment, having 2 runes for the locust is a nice thing to have. Or having a big bad voodoo, for a group environment also could be a nice thing to have. So I'm kind of keeping my option open. And the other thing about this build is that I haven't used a Unity yet. I could use a Unity with my follower because follower, that relics, you could use the follower cannot die, and then couple that with the Unity ring, which is share the damage between you and your follower, or whoever wear the ring. That will give you essentially a 50% damage reduction. So I haven't done it yet. So I have a lot of options here. I could have Akira Kuras, I could have the Henry as my reduction. I could even have a Unity ring as well. So I'm actually quite stoked, quite happy about this whole Jade Harvester set because I'm doing Greater Rift 85 solo, in group, whatever. Without even augmenting any of my ancient. I will in due course, of course. And yet I haven't really tapped onto the rest of the potential yet, whereby I could have further reduction in damage. So I could push like 90, 95, I don't know, stuff like that. So I'm really excited about what this could do. And another thing that I a little bit deviate from the whole build is that ICVN always recommend the legendary gem, which is Bane of the Stricken. It is a good gem for endgame, like when you deal with like really high rift. That Bane of the Stricken can give you a better single target kind of like damage, as well as the overall kind of like towards the bosses as well. So that is something I could use as well for high rift. I don't use it. I prefer the Bane of the Powerful because it gives me the overall kind of buff towards stuff around me. I don't need to like just be awesome at the single target. I can be awesome throughout the dungeon, so as I meet the first elite pack to down. So I'm using Bane of the Powerful instead. And it's the first time I use the Alteration, which is one of the legendary gem to reduce damage, non-physical damage, I think. And it's kind of like quite effective as well. I felt that my Witch Doctor is very, very durable, very tanky. So I'm very happy with the outcome. And I'm very keen to see where the whole kind of like a build will take me. And I mean, looking at some of these footages, Greater Rift 85 used to be rather scary, I would say, when I would play other classes. But yeah, I mean, it went well solo. It went well with my friend Straight Dupe as the barbarian. It went well with the clan as well. My wife was playing the Health Tooth Witch Doctor. Then my friend, I think I've got another friend playing Monk as well. Piper playing Monk. So in a group environment, it went pretty well. In a solo environment, it went pretty well. So I'm very keen to see how far this character can go. And I don't know whether this is like the power creep or not. I think it could well be. I don't know. But in a way, I'm quite happy that the Witch Doctor become rather good. But in a way, I was a little bit like like what about other sets, right? Because if you look at the barbarian, their top build, there's quite a fair number of them. I think the Immortal King, the Riker, there's quite a lot of sets that are doing pretty well for the barbarian, even for the wizard as well. But then for Witch Doctor, there's only one build that is doing well, which is Jade Harvester, doing exceptionally well. But the rest of it is still catching up at the high tier, but not really at the top tier kind of like way. So I mean, if you look at the leaderboard, when you look at 99%, 95%, people are using the same kind of set, although they may not run the same build, same set kind of thing. It kind of make you wonder, perhaps maybe other sets should have some good buff as well. And so far I've been having a lot of fun with this whole season. I hope you like this season as well, because it's one of those special seasons whereby you could experiment, different kind of like build or set to it because of the Season of Grandeur. You don't have to wear the ring of the Royal Grandeur. You can actually mix the set together if so you wish to, especially when you're first leveling your your character. So yeah, I mean, in a way, I think, I mean, I had a lot of fun experimenting different kind of build, and in the end, I think the set bonus 6 is just too good to be sacrificed or not to use. You know, because the latest patch buffed the set 6 bonus really a humongous amount. So it's just one of those things in Diablo. You have to kind of like adapt to it. I don't know what next season will be or what the next patch will be, because after seeing what I'm seeing today, would they nerf this Jade Harvester a little bit just to make the rest of the Witch Doctor more attractive? I don't know, because you know, that could be a good thing for the rest of the set, but it may not be good for those who use that kind of like awesomeness. Like right now, it's very tanky. My Witch Doctor. I have not played something as tanky as a Witch Doctor of this iteration. I mean, I played something really tanky like the Necromancer, the Inarius Necromancer was pretty you know, kind of like tanky, and I always like characters that are pretty tanky. I mean, I don't really. I mean, I'm not really into that glass cannon kind of build, but I enjoy character that's a little bit more tanky. By the way, Blighter is one of my least favorite bosses. I really thought that I would be, you know, I would not make it like for this guy here. But I guess my my legendary gem kind of like helped me to be a little bit more awesome. And yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of dotting all the target and making sure that you go in for the Jade Harvester, sorry, the Soul Harvest spell, and try to be awesome and so on. So okay, a lot of talking, and do share with me what you're playing this season. Do you feel that the set bonus are a little bit too awesome or too good to be true? What do you think about other classes? Is it really awesome, or is it just something that that's for the Witch Doctor that is you know, very different? Because I mean, I play a lot of classes, right? I play a lot of top build as well, like Firebird, like the you know. I haven't really played something like as strong as a Witch Doctor before, like this one here. And I think this is the last clip, by the way, so I'm just going to let it run until a couple of minutes later. And I always enjoy looking back at how some of this unfold and see whether I was doing the right thing or not, and so on. And yeah, I mean, you know, I think so far it's been an awesome journey. And I don't really play any other classes. For me, one season is one hero. I think you guys know me. I know some of you like to experiment different classes. Like, you know, you play a class first, and after that you go to the middle of the season, you try another class. Nothing wrong with that, because once you started the first character, you got all the material, it becomes a lot easier. I did that once for the Necromancer season when I play Archive Witch Doctor. And it become a lot easier because you could have all the material to roll for a different set. It's a lot easier to collect. You know, all the bloodshot is all there. So yeah, I mean, you know, you could play for other classes as well. I probably won't. And oh, by the way, some said that this season is a little bit shorter. Because it started late. I think it was meant to start like 2 weeks earlier or so, but it didn't. So I don't know whether this season will be a short one or not, but it looks like it's going to be one of the most fun season I've played, and I'm kind of glad that you know, I picked a Witch Doctor to play this season. And this is the Guardian, Rift Guardian, and then after that, just to put all the timing right for you guys. After that, I did the solo, and that was what you saw in the beginning of the video. So I thought I did that first for you guys to see, you know, the Greater Wave 85 solo. But this one was a clip that is done before, and that is a boom warlock is done. So okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.